Here's the light shining down. Maybe not yet, it's a little flat. It's a curved shape. Hey guys, I'm back. It's Tom. New viewers, welcome. Check out my older videos on the flower pastel drawings and the drawing basics 1 and 2 that come before this one. In this video, I'm going to show you a little bit about lighting and how it reacts and how it acts on the shapes that we've drawn already. Let's get right into the video. Let's go. All right, we're back. The cylinder. All right, so here we have what I would call a cylinder. And what we'll do is we will draw that. I'm going to set the cylinder up here. And I'm going to draw that exactly as I see it, not as I think I see it. That's really critical when you begin to draw these kinds of things here, this shape here. The brain wants to think that that's a circle, a perfect circle. It's not. It's only pretty much a perfect circle if you're looking at it like that. But once you start to turn this way, even the slightest amount, it now becomes an ellipse. And watch as I turn it. See, it's no longer a circle, it's just an ellipse. So forget about circle and the name ellipse. We want to just draw what we see it as. So I'm going to rest that there. All right. Do my phantom drawing with my hand resting on the paper, and I'm going to start to draw a line, and I'll draw, once I get it, okay, I got it. Then I'm going to draw the other side, and I start up and back and forth, whatever you want to call it, and when I get to it I say, okay, that's pretty good right there. All right, that's close enough, guys. Remember, I'm going for perfection. So what I like to do is see this on the bottom, from this edge to this edge here, this edge to this edge. So it's a curved shape. And I'm just looking at it and I'm going back and forth. Remember the eye technique that I explained to you? If you haven't watched my flower video, when I was drawing the flower, I explained how you use your eye and your pencil to become one. So your eye sees what it wants to draw and your pencil becomes your eye. They're connected and you wind up looking back and forth. Watch that video if you're not sure what I'm talking about. I go into real detail with that. So I'm going to start this thing and I'm going to go real light just in case I make a mistake. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, yeah, that looks pretty good. Can you see that? I think you can. Now, so you can see it, I'm going to turn my paper a little bit and I'm going to, now this is called sketching. Whenever you get into curves, you need to do short strokes. And that's what I'm doing. I'm following the original stroke that I made, which was kind of one continuous stroke. But now to refine it, I'm doing shorter strokes. So I look at it and I look at this side, I look at this side, and I'm saying, okay, this probably could come up a little bit, and that's going to meet that. And this little section here I'd probably erase out. All right, so we got that. So now we know this top part has to be very close to the same curve as this. This isn't a circle. If I tried to make a circle out of this, this would be one. The circle would wind up being really big, and that's not the bottom. It's just a little arc, if you want to use that word, which I'm not crazy about in this. So what I'll do is I will turn my paper so I can get a comfortable position like I did here. I turn my paper, I keep my shape in front of me, and I'm going to find this point, and I'm going to say, okay, this and this have to be similar. So I'm going to see how I'm phantom drawing again. This is going to take some practice, guys, and I don't go dark, I don't commit. I'm not going to commit yet. See, I'll do that. Maybe not yet, it's a little flat. So what I'll do is I'll come back and I'll look at that. Look at this. There we have the top part of this ellipse that's on the top, that shape. So what I'm going to do is turn it again. I'm still looking up here, and I'm going to do real short. I'm going to do really short strokes now to fill this in, and my eye just fills it in. You'll see that your eye will want to fill things in. Now that looks a little weird right there, you know, that's fine. It looks good over here, but over here it looks a little weird. So I'm gonna keep working that. I'll turn it this way and look at it, and I'm gonna say, okay, it's close enough, and then I'm gonna fill that in, and then I'll get this a little more. Now when you do this part, I'm not drawing on the flat side of my pencil. I'm using more of the point, but very lightly on this. See, I'm just filling it in. So that is not a circle, that's an ellipse. It's not perfectly round. So that's what gives it the dimension that I'm kind of looking down at it. I'm not looking at it this way. I'm looking at it more like this. So how do we shade this? Now it's a little bit longer than before, right? Even longer than our cube. So what I start to do is I'm starting dark on this side. Alright, now I'm dark, more pressure, and lightening the pressure as I come to the center. Applying pretty hard pressure here on the darkest edge. You know, it's okay to push down kind of hard on that, and then I'll lighten it. So you get the idea. See how it looks rounded? It looks like a cylinder shape, and that was when we were doing this one. So this is a narrow tree, and in nature it would come, you know, we would branch off the bottom and make roots. We won't do that yet. Okay, so the top, we talked about darks and lights. If I put a dark next to this, it's going to kind of blend together. So I'm going to keep the whole front of this as light as I can. Cylinder. All right, try your cylinder and come back. All right, we'll do sphere and then lighting. All right, good luck. See you in a little bit. All right, we're back, guys. I thought what we would do with the sphere, instead of putting it on another piece of paper, I thought we would take the sphere and put it right here. Now you, if you're righty, right, you might want to put your sphere on this side. Remember, because you're righty, if you put it over here and you were drawing here, you're going to get your hand on your artwork. Or you can do this method that I showed you, could cover that. All right, the sphere is not as difficult as you think. The brain, like I've said before, will want to say, oh, you need to, it needs to be a perfect circle. No, it doesn't. It doesn't need to be perfect. What we're learning here is not to be perfect. We're learning to see. and we're learning to shade, and we're learning a little bit to understand light and how light affects objects. So let's draw the sphere right here. Now the way I do that is, this is my method now. So what I like to do to draw my sphere is I put my hand and pencil real close again, and I just start to do the sphere. You know, I just start to do this. And when I feel comfortable with the speed, I just touch the pencil, and then I keep going until I think I have something to choose from, as I would say. So out of all those lines, if you can see them because I did it really light, I think I'm going to be able to find the sphere that I want. To shade a sphere, you need to know a little bit about light and how it affects an object. And I bet you common sense will tell you, and you might already know, if the sun is shining when you're outside and you're walking and it's shining from behind you, you see your shadow in front of you. You can actually see a shadow here. You see multiple shadows. One coming off this side, one coming off this side, and then where they crisscross, they're the darkest in there. The reason why that's happening is I have two lights shining down here. I have one here and one here. So we're just going to choose one, and we'll choose the one that comes off to the right. All right, so we know the light is coming from this direction, top left. All right, so the bottom opposite side is going to be your darker side.
I need you to see what I see. See what I see. See what I see. See what I see.
If you go too heavy, you're going to see them, and then it's going to be hard to get rid of them. Get rid of the lines. So I can see some lines there. Maybe if I zoom in, it looks a little better from where you're at. But if I zoom in on that, so you can see some lines there. All right, so we said the light is coming down from this direction. I might even draw a little bit of an arrow there. All right, there's the light. That's the light. This now, at this point, I have light and I have a dark side. What will really make this pop out as a sphere would be the shadow and the fact that it's resting on something. So if I look over here at my sphere and I see this shadow that comes out from here, let's start getting right into light. We'll do it on this one since I have two objects. So the light's coming down from this angle, comes down here on the sphere, and it comes down in the same direction on mine. So the shadow, I'm just going to copy the shadow where it comes off the sphere. It's going to do this, but we don't have to draw the entire shadow. That takes on a circular kind of thing, and I'm just going to stop it there. And then I see it over here? It comes over here. It's about halfway up, and it does that kind of thing. Maybe even up a little more. All right, let's try this, guys. This is the art class. If I shut this light out, look what happens. Right? There you go. I could almost draw this whole thing with this light. So do you see this now? Here's the light shining down. Here's the dark side. Mine's not so dark. I could make it darker, which I might. But we're not talking about perfection. I'm talking about getting it to look like a sphere. I might go a little darker. But let's see what happens when we do this shadow. All right, I'll turn the light back on to help me see a little bit. All right. So the shadow is just your dark. Your darkest is going to be in closest to the object. see it better there. Alright? I could do a little more work on this. You work on your sphere, guys. And I'm just going to touch this up a little bit more. I don't need to mess with it. You know, we accomplished what we needed to accomplish here, didn't we? We learned a little bit about lighting, and that's it, guys. That's your lesson in blending and shading basic shapes. And in the next video coming up, probably we'll turn these basic shapes into some things from nature. There it is. 2 thumbs up. Alright guys, that's it for this one. Those of you who had stayed the distance, isn't it fun? It's great. Just follow along. I'll come up with a lot of projects you can see, and we'll do them together, and you'll learn a lot about art. So until next time, have a great day, and I'll see you next time in the studio. Take care now.